It sounds like an eventful day of cricket. Here's a summary for day two of fifth test in the England tour of India Test Series. Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill both played elegant innings, scoring centuries for India. Ben Stokes, bowling for the first time in the series, along with James Anderson, made big breakthroughs for England, with Anderson claiming 699th Test wicket by dismissing Gill. There was also a brief collapse for India, with three wickets falling for just one run. But Kuldeep Yadav and Jasprit Bumrah stabilized the innings with a partnership, adding an unbeaten 45 runs. Sarfaraz Khan and Devdutt Padikkal contributed for India, and as the day ended, India holds a lead of 255 runs with two wickets in hand, thanks to Kuldeep Yadav and Jasprit Bumrah's partnership. To talk more about this, to discuss points beyond the obvious, we are joined by Vedam Jaishankar. Your initial comments on day two's play.
Yeah, what really comes through as far as this Indian team is concerned is, winning is a habit. Likewise, a fighting spirit is also a habit. So when you look at the team in totality, whether it is the opening batsman or right down to the number 9 and number 10 batsman, they're not willing to give up. They don't. It is not like the earlier stages. The minute you were six down, batsmen threw their bats around. If they got runs, good, well and good. Otherwise, you just got all out. That's not happening in the Indian team now, and I think that's a very good sign, especially when you see somebody like Kuldeep Yadav, one of the most improved cricketers, and Jasprit Bumrah not willing to throw away his wicket. That partnership of theirs, at one stage we thought England will bat again today, but that partnership of theirs where they put their head down and were willing to grind the attack, that shows that there are no free wickets against this team, and that's a very good sign. And it shows, if that becomes inculcated into a habit, it will definitely serve Indian cricket very well, right from number one batsman right up to the number 11 batsman.
What do you have to say on the partnership between Rohit and Shubman Gill? If you have to describe, if you have to talk more on the centuries, how the quality of centuries that came in, and the kind of partnership that actually built in and led a strong foundation in the innings.
See, the bowlers had done so much work for India yesterday. Fantastic work getting England all out for 280. You could have thrown away the whole thing if India had been all out for, let's say, 300 runs or something like that. So it needed batsmen to show exemplary courage, and I think the top order really showed that. I cannot remember when was the last time when the top five or six Indian batsmen got to fifties. It was just Jaiswal, Rohit, then Shubman Gill, Devdutt Padikkal, Sarfaraz, all got fifties. It was such a welcome sight, but it showed that they did not want to throw away the gains which the bowlers had given them. And the partnership that this morning, it really set the tone. Once Rohit and Shubman Gill got their eye in, they really started pressing on the gas, and they went along at a terrific pace, taking on the spinners, taking on the fast bowlers, pushing the ball into the gaps, running well. And suddenly it looked like, it was a one-way street. And it showed both of them, a rush to their hundreds. I said rush to their hundred because they didn't take that usual time of, 300 balls or 250 balls. In less than 100, balls, they get there to their 100. I was pleasantly surprised, really, that Rohit does not have such a great record in tests. He's got about 4,000 and odd runs, and this was only his 12th 100 in tests. Whereas he's a legend in white ball cricket, but in test match cricket, in red ball cricket, this is only his 12th 100, which was a bit of a shocker. And of course, Shubman Gill is very young and he's just come into the scene and already he's moved into 300s. So I think overall, when you look at things, you have an experienced batsman on one side and a young upcoming batsman on the other side. But two of them are gelling very well. And Rohit also, for the last 1 year, he's really become a lot more consistent than he was in Test match cricket. And that showed today.
If we have to talk about James Anderson dislodging Gill, and post that, there was a flurry of three wickets, where it's like for just one run, three wickets were down, and it was as if the it was to end very easily. But Kuldeep and Bumrah's innings actually like played a thing where like now they're at the crease and the Indians are still batting. And then days play, end of days play.
So yesterday we said that India will get about 300 to 350 runs today. That's at an average of 100 runs per session. And that's exactly what they did. In the first session itself, they had got more than 100, I think, was 129 runs. Second session, they got about 110, 112 runs. And again, in the third session, about 90, 95 runs. So altogether today, they made more than 300 runs and 338 runs to be precise. So that meant that they had a very good scoring rate. They were playing the baseball, not England. And England actually was trying to go a little negative, a little defensive. But still, I think India really batted well and got those runs going. And we saw that, whether it was Padikkal or Sarfaraz or the later batsmen, nobody was getting bogged down. We're getting going for quick runs, and it didn't look like this was a very youthful side against a very experienced side. This looked like a side which was as good as any side that India has thrown up in the past. And I think that played a huge part because if you're going to score at this rate, there are going to be a lot of matches that you're going to win.
Where do you see it going? The test match. Where do you see it going? How will be? What can we expect from day three?
I think right now we have a lead of about 255 runs, and the way both Kuldeep Yadav and Bumrah are batting, it doesn't look like they are in any great hurry to throw away their wicket. They would hang on and try and get as many runs as possible, and a lead of close to 300 runs would really be terrific, would be insurmountable. Because England, I think this will be their last innings that a batsman will play in India, and many of them must be sick and tired and would want to go home. This has not been a happy tour for them. They've lost three tests. It looks like they're going to lose the fourth test. So I don't know how much fight they have in them because when we saw them in the first innings, it didn't look like they had any fight with them. 100 for one and 218 all out. It didn't look like they had any fight in them. And the three quality Indian spinners, I think, have more than something to prove over here. So I would suspect that the match would get over sometime on the fourth day. Even if England have a big fight back, sometime on the fourth day it'll get over. Tomorrow, usually they say the third day is a moving day, but I think already the second day is a moving day, and India has moved into a position of towering strength.
Okay. If you have to talk about England's innings, the second innings, what can be expected? Like as you said, the first innings might actually show a different set of things. But if they have to strategize and still be in the game and still try to get into not into a winning side, I don't know how it will turn out. So, what strategy would England actually play in?
I don't know how many of the English players are going to be back in their team because I think this is one defeat which is going to rankle them a lot because they've not just lost, they've got walloped and walloped badly. First test, I think they were very lucky to win, basically thanks to a lovely knock by Pope. But beyond that, there was very little to take away for them from the first test. Maybe they won the test, so that was okay. But after that, even that, I think they won by about 80-20 runs. Even that was a close win for them. But after that, it has been steady downhill. They might have put up a fight or seen that they're putting up a fight, but by the second, third day, I mean, they really had no chance at all. So I look at even Ben Stokes bowling today as a last throw of the dice. He was injured. He was coming back from an injury. He had said he will not bowl, but it was the last throw of the dice. Of course, you got Rohit Sharma bowled. So I think they are desperate. It is going to be Anderson's last tour of India. I can't see him making another tour of India. Likewise, it will be with many of them. So I don't know whether they like to go in a fit of glory, but 300 run lead is huge. We are 255 there. 300 would be huge. And like I said, if you have nothing to play for, you've already lost the series. If you have nothing to play for, it's very difficult really to motivate yourself and go after the opponents. I think we should dwell on Devdutt Padikkal's debut. For we always knew he had the talent. Like I said yesterday itself, We always knew he had the talent, and we knew he's going to come into the game very quickly. It was just that health reasons held him back by a year and a half. But I think we have discovered a gem of a cricketer because he is a wonderful batsman. And look, what happens really at the highest level is temperament. Whatever your technique is, if you have a temperament and you understand what your technique is, what your limitations are, what your strengths are, what you can play for, then you will find a way to score runs. There was a lot of nitpicking about by some of the Indian commentators about he's putting his weight on the back foot, he's not moving onto the front foot, not transferring weight, things like that. But we have seen the greatest of batsmen in history. If they are good, they will find a way. They will be comfortable with their technique. They will know how to get runs. And the more I see of Devdutt, he is somebody who knows how to get runs. Look, a guy is coming back from an injury. This is debut match, and debut match. Obviously, his feet. There will be nervousness, and he admitted that he was nervous for the first 10-15 minutes. But he soaked into that nervousness. And if you look at the performance of the guy this year after his comeback, he got 150 odd against England Lions. He also scored in the second test against them. He scored in both innings. He got 100 against Tamil Nadu in January. He got 100 against Goa. So right through January, February, March, the guy's been piling runs. He knows how to get runs. And he's got the temperament for it. I can't understand some of our Indian commentators why they're always nitpicking on technique without understanding that you can't be a slave to technique. If you have the temperament, you will find a way to get around whatever limitations may be whatever so-called limitations may be in your technique, you will still find a way to get runs. And that is what Devdutt Padikkal has proved today. That irrespective of they're looking at him with a microscope, which is totally unfair because the boy is a youngster, 23 years of age. He is making his debut. He's got 65 runs on the debut, and I would take my hat off to him, which is what they too should be doing.
Good, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining us on the day's analysis. That's day 2 of fifth test of England's tour of India.